April 1928, Cape Town, South Africa. A telegram is delivered. Alice opens it, reads the first line, a car accident in France. Her son Rupert. She holds her breath. The injuries are not severe, it says. He seems to be recovering, and she decides to wait. Daily updates arrive. He's getting better. Then, on April 15th at 3 a.m., a second telegram. Rupert is dead, bled to death from a minor head injury. What she had always feared has happened. Hemophilia, her family's genetic legacy, has killed him. And Alice is 10,000 kilometers away. Too far to say goodbye, too far to attend his funeral. Her name, Princess Alice, Countess of Athlone. How much can a person carry when duty determines everything, and one's own blood destroys what one loves most? Princess Alice lived 97 years. She was the last grandchild of Queen Victoria, Vicereine of South Africa and Canada. Carrier of a genetic legacy, the disease that destroyed European dynasties. She never knew her father. Her youngest son died as a baby. Her eldest son bled to death at 20, and yet she fulfilled her role decade after decade, without complaint, without recognition. The question is not why she was forgotten. The question is, how does one carry a legacy that spares oneself but destroys everything else? February 1883, Windsor Castle. A girl is born, Alice Mary Victoria Augusta Pauline, her father, Prince Leopold, Duke of Albany, the youngest son of Queen Victoria, and the first in her family with hemophilia. 1 year later, March 1884. Leopold is in Cannes. He slips, falls down a staircase, injures his knee and hits his head. They are only minor injuries. For anyone else, harmless. For a hemophiliac, fatal. On March 28, 1884, he dies at 31 years old. Alice is 13 months old. She will never know him. But she will carry his legacy, because hemophilia is inherited through daughters. And Alice, whether she knows it or not, is a carrier. This means her sons could die from cuts, from falls, from accidents that others survive. This is the genetic legacy of Queen Victoria, and Alice carries it forward. February 1904, St. George's Chapel, Windsor. Alice marries Alexander Cambridge, Earl of Athlone. It is not a love match, but also not a forced marriage. It is a strategic connection within the royal network. He, officer, loyal, unobtrusive. She, granddaughter of the Queen, educated, dutiful. What connects them is not romance, but duty. Between 1906 and 1910, they have 3 children. May 1906, daughter May. August 1907, son Rupert. March 1910, son Maurice. 6 months later, Maurice dies. Too young to know the cause, Alice grieves. Alexander is silent. This is how they deal with loss. But Rupert shows the symptoms. Bruises from nowhere, bleeding that won't stop. The doctors confirm it. Hemophilia, a disease that has already changed entire dynasties. The Romanovs, the Spanish royal family, and now Alice's own family. She knows every fall could be fatal, every cut, every accident. Alexander knows it too, but he doesn't speak about it. They carry it together, silently. But life goes on, duty calls, and they fulfill it, together. 1924. Her husband Alexander becomes Governor-General of South Africa. Alice goes with him, not because she has political power, but because the empire needs people who represent stability, people who make the crown visible without imposing it. And Alice is perfect for this. She speaks with people, visits hospitals, opens schools, attends receptions, in Cape Town, in Durban, in Pretoria. Everywhere the crown must be present. She shows interest, shows presence, listens, remembers names. But she decides nothing. She signs no laws. She makes no strategic decisions. She fulfills a role, and the role is called connection. Because the empire is slowly disintegrating. Colonies want independence. The crown is losing real power. What remains is symbolism, and this symbolism needs people like Alice, people who don't dominate, but connect, quietly, reliably, for decades. But at night when she is alone, she thinks of Rupert, in England, thousands of kilometers away, with a disease that could make any injury fatal. Letters arrive, once a month. Rupert is well. But well only means he's still alive. She fulfills her role, smiles, represents, connects, while she hopes every day that no telegram comes. For 4 years, everything is fine. Then comes April 1928. Cape Town. The telegram arrives. Rupert, 20 years old, had a car accident in France. He seemed to be recovering. Alice breathes a sigh of relief and decides to remain in South Africa. Alexander agrees. They wait together. Daily updates arrive. He's doing well. Then, April 15th, 3 a.m. Sudden bleeding from the ear. A skull fracture. Tiny, barely visible. But hemophilia makes it fatal. Rupert bleeds to death, and both are too far away. St. George's Chapel, Windsor. King George V is there. Queen Mary, the Prince of Wales, the royal family. But Rupert's parents are absent. They are 10,000 kilometers away. In Cape Town, a memorial service takes place. Alice sits there, Alexander beside her. Both wear black. Both hold themselves upright. Both show no tears. This is their role. Later, Alice will write, "The greatest tragedy of our lives. Our, not mine." But she writes this privately. In public, they remain the Vicereine and the Viceroy. Calm, dutiful, controlled. 1931. After 7 years in South Africa, they return to England, Kensington Palace. No official role anymore, but Alice continues working. Ceylon, Malaya, Singapore, Siam. Places change. The function remains. Everywhere the empire needs presence, Alice is there, without title, without position, but with the authority of her name. At home, she founds charitable organizations, the National Children's Adoption Association. She works in hospitals, visits schools. October 1931, her daughter May marries Captain Henry Abel Smith. One of the bridesmaids, 5-year-old Elizabeth, the future Queen Elizabeth II. May has 3 children, Richard, Anne, Elizabeth, Alice's grandchildren. For 9 years, Alice lives without an official position, but not without duty. February 1940, in the middle of World War II. Canada's Governor-General Lord Tweedsmuir dies suddenly. Canada needs a successor, and Britain needs loyalty. Alexander is appointed. Alice goes with him to Ottawa. She is 57 years old, and again she fulfills the same function: represent, connect, stabilize. While London is being bombed, Canada remains safe, and Alice visits troops, hospitals, organizations. During the war, her grandchildren live with her. Richard, Anne, and Elizabeth, evacuated from England, safe in Canada. She assumes responsibility, not only as hostess, but as grandmother. 1943, Quebec City. Winston Churchill is there. Franklin D. Roosevelt, Mackenzie King, the Quebec conferences, crucial for the war's outcome, and Alice is there. Not at the negotiating table, but as hostess. She receives the statesmen, organizes dinners, creates atmosphere for conversations that change the world. As the face of the crown, as a symbol of continuity, the empire needs her, and she fulfills her role. As always, 1946, the war is over. Alexander retires. They return to England, to Kensington Palace. After everything they have carried, after everything they have lost, they are finally home again. Together, 1957, Alexander dies, 73 years old. 53 years married. Alice loses the man who stood beside her when duty became too heavy, when others asked questions, and suddenly she is alone, for the first time since 1904. But she remains in her role. Decade after decade, she continues working, attends charity events, opens hospitals, represents the crown, without title, but with dignity. She sees 6 monarchs reign: Victoria, Edward VII, George V, Edward VIII, George VI. Elizabeth II. She experiences 2 world wars, the end of the empire, the birth of the Commonwealth. She is the last living grandchild of Queen Victoria, the last connection to a world that no longer exists. For 24 years, she carries it alone. January 1981, Kensington Palace. Princess Alice dies. 97 years and 312 days old. Her funeral takes place in St. George's Chapel. Queen Elizabeth II is there, King Olav of Norway, King Carl Gustaf of Sweden, the royal families of Europe. She is buried in Frogmore, next to her husband, next to her son Rupert, directly behind the mausoleum of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. 2 sons lost. A father she never knew. A genetic legacy she carried but never felt. And yet 97 years of duty, without pause, without complaint. Perhaps this is the true burden of legacy, not what one does, but what one carries, while no one is watching.